Morning, beautiful. It is lovely to see you. It's good to be out here. Let me show you the sky. There was a tui singing, but I'm sorry I was too slow on the uptake and now it's flown away. So we'll just enjoy the sky instead. Look at this. Big open skies. It's getting cooler now, the season's changing. But this is really my favourite time of year. Look at that. Beautiful. That's kind of a poster shot. You can just hear the tui in the background there. Morning, Marianne. Hi, Kristen. Morning, everybody. Just doing a 360 and that's right above me, the sky. It's beautiful. So, yeah, hear that rasping sound? The tui's dodging me, I tell you. There you go, you can hear it now. That's tui. Anyway, let me show you some things. We have white Japanese anemones, which I always love because they're so simple and so beautiful. And the ghost plant has grown. There's not so many flowers at this time of year, but what we have, we enjoy. There you go. And there's a view across the garden. You can see the sun streaming in. The magnolia, which is getting ready to make flowers for spring, and the century plants, which are starting to look like things. They're very slow, but when they grow, they're pretty magnificent. So there's the day, and it's lovely. Alright, let me get to it. And yes, I'm an hour later than usual, because we've come out of daylight savings time. And last year, I didn't actually do that. Last year, morning Heather! Last year when daylight savings changed, I stayed at daylight savings time because I wanted to be able to get up early. I wanted to be able to get up an hour earlier so I'd have time to do my meditation work. And so it's been almost exactly a year since I started my... Well, it goes back a bit more, but it's been a year since I've been doing my meditations with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza every day. And I tell you, I wouldn't miss it. I don't think you could pay me enough. I mean, why would I want the magic to stop? No, it's my time. Denise, it's lovely to see you, honey. Morning, everybody. So it's been a year and it's been an amazing journey for me and such a transformation. And, you know, and it doesn't stop. Oh my God, every day. I had some like isolated experiences. Somebody gifted me some of the meditations and I was playing with them and I got really instant early results, which was, you know, very encouraging. And it made me realise I want to do this and how am I going to do it and where and when, and that was my answer. Rowena, morning beautiful. Elaine, it is lovely to see you. It's lovely to see you all. So yeah, it's been a year, and what a year. And it's kind of appropriate really, because, and I know one of you made a comment last week, and last week is like 50 million lifetimes ago because I've become a different person since then. Fun! Good morning, beautiful! I've become a different person since then 364 times. I think it's 364 because, you know, leap year and it's a day out and whatever. Every day I become a new person because I go into the unified field and I overcome some aspect of myself, and that changes my brain and that changes my body. And sometimes the change is really obvious and sometimes the change is just a little bit, but every single day I become somebody new. And so I've been doing that for a year now. Kelly, it's gorgeous to see you. And it's amazing. So today is very appropriate, really. You know, I've been doing this work for a year, consistently for a year. And to talk about something that I heard Joe Dispenza, right? The only man I've ever wanted to be like. And I've seen a lot of people, but never thought I want to be like that person. My only role model. Joy, it's gorgeous to see you, beautiful being. It's lovely to have one. And he would say, like, you live this day like it's your whole life, or like it's one life and one day. And I would hear him talking about this, and I mean, I've only really figured this out a few months ago. I think it's a few months, maybe a few weeks, I don't know. But I understand it because I've really become aware of becoming somebody different every single day. Because I overcome myself and I make neurological changes. Oh, yes, the hats. Thank you, sweetheart. I make neurological changes and I make epigenetic changes. And remember, that's not just a nice, feeling, thinking thing. That means that I have healed my thyroid function. That means that I forgot that I even had asthma. That means that there's a lump on this finger, which wasn't anything dangerous, but it went away. It just went away. I just noticed one. Oh my God, it's going away. There's no lump now. There's a slight thickening in the skin where it used to be, and I'm sure it'll continue to disappear. Small things. But, small and large. And there are other things that I'm still not going to tell you about that I'm working on now because I want the evidence first. It's much better to have the evidence of what I'm really beginning to know that I've changed at a physical level. So these epigenetic changes are not just nice, pretty, golden, sparkly thoughts. This is physical stuff that is changing in me. Oh, and did I mention that I am so much more capable of joy? Joy, which for me was a completely impossible thing. And by the way, in the last few days, every day I've woken up, I've become really clear. And it was just today that I got really, really clear. Oh my goodness, I am waking up feeling like I used to feel when I was younger. When there was this kind of sad, heavy greyness and there was no joy in it. And I sort of realised, oh my goodness, this is what created my sickness. This is what created my lack. This is what created my entire life. And here I am, nose to nose with it, right? Oh wow, this isn't fun. And it hasn't been. But oh my God, I know how to overcome it now. I know how to change myself from this. And that to me is just the greatest blessing and relief. And oh my God, I'm no longer stuck here. So, to create myself each morning and then think, okay, I only have to do my best to maintain this state of being today. I don't have to think beyond today. Because tomorrow I'm going to do it again, I'll be different again. So I don't have to get attached to the idea of who I'm going to be. I just need to do the best I can with what I download, with who I become, with who I create now, today. That's it. That's enough. Some days it's easy. Some days it's really, really hard. But always I know that whatever I end up nose to nose with, if it's one of those nose to nose days, it's so I can overcome it. And that's what I do. I understand the process now. So the conversation I wanted to have with you, now that I've sort of gone, oh my God, it's been a year and wow, is really about, who do you think you are? Really, who do you think you are? I still can't remember exactly what it was last week that made me decide to talk about this. But really, whatever you believe about yourself, do you actually want it to be true? Do you want to keep believing and buying into and endorsing and validating and telling the stories, tra-la-la, of who you think you are, what you can't do, what you can do, your identity? I'm beginning to remember now, we talked a lot about surrender and letting go. And it's interesting because this is what I'm doing, right? I'm really starting to explore as I get into these deeper brain states. God, they're beautiful. Of letting go of any identification with who I think I am, with the shape of my body. Can I become no body? Can I lose connection with my body? And I'm not talking about out-of-body experience either. I don't really care about that. But can I forget that I have a skin? Can I forget that I have a name? Can I forget about the things that I have to do today and the things that happened yesterday? Or can I just become this pure moment of awareness And if I can do that, can I then decide what I really want to be true about me? Linda, it's lovely to see you, beautiful. Can I just let go so much that I then get to say, okay, my hands are empty now. Actually, what do I want to be true about me now? Really? If I'm all of this limitless potential, if I can be anything, if I can be anyone, if I can believe anything about myself, if I can erase my past, or if I can completely change my past. Emily, it's great to see you. If I can, like a computer program, I can just edit and completely rewrite, change the colours, change the theme, change the whatever it is. If I could just do that in an instant, what would I want to be true about me? And you think, oh my God, really? You mean I could just in a moment wipe away my entire past? That is actually possible. There are people who've done it. You've got to go very deep into yourself. You've got to let a lot of energy release, and you've got to let a lot of energy in. And I'm having my own small experiences of that, no bolt of lightning, but the small little crackles that I receive, oh my God, they're beautiful. It doesn't matter, it's enough for me. What do you want to be true about yourself? What do you assume about who you are and what you can do that you would like to be different? Because if you can get aware of it, if you can notice it, if you can pay attention, because you've got to actually start to notice what you've been thinking about. You've got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about, and that is called metacognition. Above thinking, above noticing, cognize, when you recognize something, when you see it, when you perceive it. So seeing above, thinking about what you've been thinking about. And yeah, if you can be no thing, then you can be anything and everything, and it all becomes available. And I never really understood this, but I understand this as a practical concept now, a practical thing that I can actually do because I've developed these skills in myself. But it also, if you are faced with limitless possibilities, you actually do have to know what you desire. And yesterday, I was facing something really difficult in myself. And I mean, I was angry, and I actually made a conscious choice to be present with the emotions and to let myself speak them, which I know some of you will have heard me say, because I needed to know what I was actually really pissed off about, and I couldn't work it out. For a long time, I couldn't work it out. And I finally recognised something in myself that was really quite ugly. But it was like, thank God, I finally realised that's what I'm actually doing here. Do I want to continue doing and being that? No. But oh my God, it's so addictive. I really like being like that. Oh God, I just want to, find all these things and people and circumstances and memories and whatever to think about so I can fire up more of that horrible feeling. It's amazing to watch the addiction in action. Remember, that's the chemistry, that's the conditioning that at a cellular level, if you've been a certain way and thought certain thoughts and had certain feelings and had certain experiences over and over and over, your body gets used to them. And if you decide you want to be somebody else, it behaves like an addict and says, no, I don't want this to change. Give me what I'm used to now. And it throws up thoughts and memories and says, come on, just give me one old one fix of anger or resentment or sorrow or fear or grief or whatever it is. It's like an addict. But you really have to know, you actually have to be present with your experience enough to know what it is you need to let go of. And that can be quite hard. Was yesterday. Took me quite some time to work out. Really? What is so pissing you off, Maddie? So you got to get up close and, personal with the fact that there's a piece of glass against your nose and you can't see it. And I knew that I didn't want to stay there. But I really was having difficulty deciding who I wanted to be instead. I just didn't know, couldn't work it out. So I guess what I'm saying is it's okay if you don't know. But the other thing is, if we really are limitless, we can access these limitless resources of potential and possibility, and we can. And actually, we do it all the time. It's just we're so used to being who we're being that of all of those limitless possibilities, we just keep on collapsing the same ones into reality. Because it's habitual, and we know how to do it, so we just keep on doing it, right? But that's not who we are. Ebolia, it is beautiful to see you. Good morning. So it's always, I always come back to this question when I find myself in a space that I don't like. Maddie, who do you want to be? Because once I know who I want to be, and we talked about this a lot last week, once I know who I want to be, then I have a target, right? I have a goal. I can start moving towards that in some small practical way, or in some, thinking, okay, so when I notice myself feeling this way, I'm going to choose to think about it something else. I'm going to feel something different. And by the way, I was so mired in my pretty much high beta state. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was everything. And I didn't know what the answer was, that in the end, the only thing I could do to shift it, I just had this inspiration. I thought, right, there is a solution out there. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to breathe that solution in through my heart and breathe it out again. I was so in the box, Linda, you're right. But I knew there was an answer. And so what I did was I put my attention on my heart and I breathed the solution in and out of there. And that actually helped me to stop just kind of tearing myself to pieces. It was really, really helpful. Trying to turn a cat into a vegetarian. Exactly. A cat is a cat. A cat needs to eat meat, by the way. It's... We have to be okay with not being okay. But understanding that even if you don't know what the solution is, even if you can't imagine, because you're so stuck inside your box, you're so under your glass ceiling, even if you have no fucking idea what the answer is or how it's going to come to you or who you want to be or anything, there is an answer. There is a solution, because you're asking the question, which means the answer's there. And for me, it was, oh my God, I can breathe this unknown thing. I'm creating something that's unknown. I'm calling something that's unknown to me. Right, I'm going to breathe it in and out of my heart, because becoming heart-centered always really helps us to shift. And the other thing I finally got to was, I want to feel not upset about this. Okay, so how do I want to feel? And I slowly started to say, I want to feel, I don't want to have that reaction. I want to have this reaction, whatever it was. Eventually, we have to choose what we want to make true about ourselves. And we have to choose how we want to feel. And you notice, I wasn't feeling ecstatic yesterday. I was not. And I couldn't access elevated states. But I knew that if I put my attention in my heart and I just have this thought, there is an answer. And I can breathe it in and out, even though I don't know what it is. I'm going to get some idea of it just from doing that. You see, we have to stop thinking about it within the confines of what we know. Because the confines of what you know is what's got you where you are so far. It's not going to get you where you want to go. You've got to access something outside of your box. So we have to find a different way. Yeah, ready and willing to change, even when we don't know what it means, totally. And that's about surrender. Now, for me personally, I don't often find that hard, because I know that on the other side of my surrender is relief, never mind freedom. And even when old ways of being scream at me and say, oh, come on, indulge your addiction, it's like, no. Is that what you want me to do? You want me to keep on hurting myself like this? Oh, no. No, lovingly, no, I'm not doing it. I love myself too much to keep on hurting myself like this. Because remember, when we stay in these states of stress, because that's basically a fight or flight state, it's not good for the body. And I love myself and I love my body, so I'm not going to keep doing that. So really, if you find yourself nose to nose with a limited state of being and you just can't imagine who you are without that, that's okay. But do you even want that to be true about you? It's kind of a fundamental question. We sort of assume that I don't like this doesn't feel good, therefore I don't want it. But often because of the conditioning, because of the addiction, and also because of the fear of the unknown. I don't know who I'll be without this. I don't know if the people that like me right now are going to like me without it, because that can be a real thing for some. You know, do I even want this to be true about me? Really? So this feels a bit nebulous, but it kind of feels important. We really have to decide who we want to be. And to do that, we really have to pay attention to who we're being. And lovingly look yourself in the eye. And now you can still be angry when you're doing that. You can still be sad. You can still be whatever it is. But it's this intention to be present with your experience. Like, you know, if you're a parent, which I'm not, by the way. If you're a parent and your child is throwing a purple fit, and you're not throwing a purple fit yourself, which is a different situation. But, you know, the times when the kid is losing it, right? And you just stay present with them. Or you walk away and you leave them to have their temper tantrum because there's not much no new information is going to make it into their nervous system or yours while you're wound up, right? So something that was such sense to me when I understood it is why you can't talk to somebody about solutions when they're pissed off. Hi, Wendy! You can't talk to somebody about comfort when they're buried in grief. The only information that can make it into your nervous system and mine is information that is equal to the emotional state that we are presently in. So, you know, if you're wound up, it's not a time to learn, it's a time to fight or flee or freeze. So you see, we have to change our state. And you have to, right in the middle of all of that, and sometimes changing the state comes later, to pay attention to what you're actually believing about yourself. Melanie, lovely to see you, gorgeous. Pay attention. Notice, oh my God, if I want that to happen, it means, you know, if I want this consequence to happen for that person, it means that I am too afraid to stump up and say, hey, do you know what you're doing to yourself? Or I'm so fearful and so resentful about some of other things that I don't even know how to say that to them in a way that's not going to just create a big problem, which is why I've sat with it for so long. Because I know all I'm going to do is light a fire that isn't helpful to anybody, so I got to sit with this until I have enough clarity and coherence to actually approach whatever it is I want to approach in a new way and as a new person. And I don't know who that person is, but I do know who I don't want to be anymore. I don't want to be that person who is basically waiting for something to go wrong so they can say, now you have to change. I don't want to create that. But that was what I had to recognise about myself yesterday. Do I really want to be that? Do I really want to be limited? Do I really want to say that I don't trust anybody except me to make certain things happen? No! I got to let go. I got to stop being a control freak. Control freak's not quite the thing, actually. I've had to manage a lot in my life for various reasons, all of them good. But it's no longer relevant, and I've had to recognise I have to become someone else. I have to let go of that now. I have to step back. It's quite something. So, you know, to really look yourself in the face lovingly and with clarity, and to be present with all of your experience, and whether you like it or not, whether you think you should feel this way or not, you might as well get real, because you're going to find out what you really believe about yourself. And when you really know what you're believing and who you're being, which the universe must endorse, remember, it's got no choice. Lovingly, it must endorse who you're being. Then you get to decide, okay, at least I know I don't want to be this. Who do I want to be and how would it feel? Those questions. So I hope this makes sense. It feels, like I say, it feels kind of nebulous, but, well, here I am talking about it. Let me show you the sky. Constantly changing. Such a beautiful morning. I'm so grateful to share it with you at the new, improved, later time, because our daylight savings time zone's ended. Big love. Thanks for joining with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.